I have been handed the indisputable Shea Norling power rankings with explanations as to why each team is where they are at. It's filled with expletives. It's filled with exclamation points. It's filled with capitals. And here we go.
I know he's listening, too.
I know. Number 10.
He's awake by now?
Oh, he was awake at 7. He texted me. He goes, "I'll have you know I'm awake."
He rips on you in here, Abdallah.
And I said to him, "Good morning." He's ripping on me?
He rips on you.
What's he
wait
saying?
for it. Oh, it's some rips.
Oh, I know. He's going to rip on me for saying the Chiefs are the number 1 team.
Well, we'll get there later. Pittsburgh, number 10. He says, "Will I ever believe? Do I hate? He says, is Hoodie right about me? Does he hate the Steelers?" Let's put him at a 10 right now.
Oof. That's tough. All right. Okay. Yes, the Steelers are a top 10 football team. I don't know if they're number 10, but Russell Wilson has won games against the Jets and the Giants. And their biggest win, that 32-13 win, came against the Raiders. So, yeah, I would say right now they're a top 10 team. But let's see when they face better competition. I mean, the Jets and the Giants are not good. We know that. Talk about teams in crisis mode. Jets and Giants, crisis mode.
No question. Mike, they're in macro crisis mode.
Yeah, crisis mode is crisis mode.
Nope, wrong.
You're not. Are you half pregnant? You're either in crisis mode or you're not. You're either pregnant or you're not.
Disagree. We will agree to disagree, my young friend.
I got to see who he's got at 9 and 8 before I determine whether putting the Steelers at 10 is justified or not.
Washington's at 9. He says winning ugly is good for the standings, does nothing for him. I agree with him.
Yeah. That's tough, man. I mean, look, if those teams played each other, I would probably take the Steelers.
I would too.
So, I mean, that's got to mean that the Steelers are number 9, right, for me?
Yeah.
Okay.
That would make sense. What about the Vikings? You have them above the Vikings? He says Sam Darnold kind of looks like Sam Darnold again. Blitz-heavy defense has been abused by Goff and Stafford in consecutive losses. I personally am concerned that Sam Darnold is reverting to becoming a one-read quarterback again. If you look at the target numbers, he's forcing the ball into Justin Jefferson. Jordan Addison stands wide open at the goal line, and he's thrown to Jefferson in double coverage.
Losing to the Lions and the Rams. Oof. I think I put the Steelers above the Vikings right now.
Really?
I think so.
I think with Russell Wilson, maybe.
Well, yeah, that's who's their quarterback right now, so you have to. Yeah,
If Justin was back in there, I would say no.
Oh, that's tough.
This is the Russell Wilson you expected once you left the Seahawks.
Yeah, I think the defenses cancel each other out because they're both very good defenses. And I think you have to go with, I mean, the best player on offense is still on the Vikings in Justin Jefferson. But is Sam Darnold the guy to get him the ball when you need it to against a good defense if he's playing poorly?
They also get TJ Hawkinson back probably this week.
Okay.
So that's something to look out for.
Well, I mean, they play the Colts, too. I mean, I know Joe Flacco might have something to say, but again, it's a good defense. We'll see what Joe Flacco can do against that good defense. Oh, I think they're tied. Can I go with a tie? Do I have to rank them, or can I tie?
You have to make a choice.
I'll go with the Vikings. I think the Vikings, right? I'll go with the Vikings still. I'll still go with the Vikings.
Number 7, the Houston Texans. They move down 1. Shea says danger zone. No Stephon Diggs for the rest of the year. No Nico Collins right now. Stroud hasn't looked like he did last year. A defense-first football team. This is way too low for me. I'd have Houston up higher.
Yeah,
I still think
agree.
they're one of the most dangerous teams in the AFC, if not the most dangerous team in the AFC.
Completely disagree with you. And without Diggs and Nico Collins, and he's right, Stroud has not looked as good. This is one of the most lucid takes Shea Norling has had in a long time.
I'm not gonna. Did he move? Where were they last week? Did he say
They were 6 last week.
Okay.
Moved them down 1.
Okay, that's not. I mean, they won. I got to see who's 5 before I know before whether I say this is a bad move to move them down 1. I think they're a top 6 football team. I wouldn't be upset if they were top 5, but 6, given the injuries, seems about right.
They still have Tank Dell, who in his rookie season had 700 yards last
They do,
year.
absolutely.
Okay, he's Tank Dell, man. You're treating him like he's freaking the great Tom Waddle. I mean, what are we doing here?
I'm not saying he's great, but if you needed a Stephon Diggs replacement, he should step up and help out.
You
He
just said AI Jack. We could just... Jay Moore, can you reprogram him to have a replay? Did you not say they are about maybe the most dangerous team in the AFC?
Yeah, one of.
Now it's one of. We're throwing a proviso in. Have you not heard of the freaking Chiefs? The Ravens? Like, there are way better teams.
They're better teams, but they're still dangerous. You want to face C.J. Stroud in that defense?
Without Nico Collins.
Okay, yeah.
If Houston runs through the AFC playoffs and makes it to the Super Bowl, I will not be surprised.
I would be shocked.
I would be surprised, but I think they'll at least win a game again. And you don't want to face C.J. Stroud. He's very good.
The biggest riser of the week, number 6, Philadelphia, quietly back into the top 10 offensive EPA. They're healthy. Devontae Smith's healthy.
Yeah.
A.J. Brown's healthy. The line is getting healthy. Looks pretty good. Looks like 2022.
Yeah, absolutely it does. That's a good, I like that move. They've won 3 in a row. They've won 4 out of their last 5. I mean, they're not beating the best teams in the world right now. They're beating the Browns, the Giants, and the Bengals. So it's not the greatest teams, but they absolutely put it on the Bengals. I think the Eagles are back. Absolutely, I think the Eagles are back.
Green Bay at 5, and Shea says, how dare any of you doubt Malik Willis? He says Matt LaFleur is great. So
Matt LaFleur is a really, really wonderful football coach. But Malik Willis, if he has to play multiple weeks again, I think the Packers are in trouble.
I think the wheels fall off at some point. He's looked a lot better, but I can't see him leading them to multiple wins in a row again.
I don't think they're beating the Lions with Malik Willis.
No.
They're not going to the NFC Championship game with Malik Willis. He's fine for a game or two, which he had to do this year, which is fine. But you're not beating the Lions. I don't even know if you're beating the Bears with Malik Willis.
Agreed.
And then it's 49ers and Dolphins after that. That's a tough schedule.
Yeah, and if Tua's healthy and back rolling, that team's a different team.
Absolutely. I like Malik Willis. He's good. He's a great backup. LaFleur's a good coach. But I just don't think they're beating the Lions this week if Malik Willis is the starter.
Number 4 is Baltimore. They dropped down 2 spots. Second in DVOA, even after the Cleveland loss. Says it was a weird game, road divisional opponent, and Cleveland had Jameis Winston. But Shea calls John Harbaugh John Eberflus and says he should stop making a habit out of fourth quarter collapses. I think it's a bit of a reach.
Yeah, that, as well as his take was with Houston, that's an awful take.
Oh, I love Shea so much. They're
He's going to go to the Hall of Fame. Stop, Shea.
Yeah, they're a top 5 team, but Shea's not wrong. This is a problem that goes back to last year. They were clinging on to games for dear life at some point in the fourth quarter. This is a problem that the Ravens have had. It's not just a fluke, couple games. This is a problem. Holding on to fourth quarter leads, going back to last year, has been a problem. They're still a top 5 team, but yes, it is definitely something to keep an eye on. He's not in risk of losing his job ever, but it's something you got to keep an eye on, for sure.
It's weird, too, because they should be a running team that's able to pound out the clock in the last quarter, but they haven't been able to.
Yeah.
It's odd. They have Derrick Henry now. Just hand him the ball.
Especially because people were wrong about Derrick Henry and saying, well, he might have lost a step and he's not going to be this force. He is playing at an insane level still for a running back who's at his age and has as many miles as he does.
Buffalo moves up 3 spots. They're at the 3rd spot right now. Their defense is back in the top 10. They look good.
Love the Bills.
Bills are really, really good.
Absolutely.
Well coached, man. Well coached football team.
Absolutely, number 3. Absolutely.
Shea puts Kansas City at 2. He says they stink, but they're 7-0. He says they remind you more of the 2020 Steelers that started 11-0, then finished 12-5 with a wild card loss. But they're 7-0 and top 10 in offense right now and defensive EPA. So
he just gave you the reasons.
He gave us the reasons why they should be the number 1 team.
Yeah.
But he puts them at 2.
They should be the number 1 team. They have the best player in the NFL, and it's not like I get a couple of weeks ago when you're looking at DVOA numbers, they were like 15th, 16th, and they were slowly creeping up. Now they're a top 5 team in DVOA. Jack just mentioned the offensive numbers. They still have the best player in the NFL. If I had one game, if you're not taking Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback in that one game,
you're insane.
I fear you don't know ball.
And they
as
just
the
got
kids
DeAndre
say.
Hopkins.
Yes. They're the number one team. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
I
Shea.
agree with you.
I'm
Shea-
sorry, Carmen.
Shea, take back all the good things I said. That's a horrible take.
You nerds can get out of here. Watch ball. They're still the best. The fact that they keep winning despite playing poorly and their quarterback not having a good year is a testament as to why they are the best team in the NFL.
Number 1, the Detroit Lions.
Bias. Bias from Shea.
This is where he lays into you.
He's
Adam.
not a Lions fan.
Detroit bias from doesn't no he was too much of a fan of the Tigers late for me to believe that he's not secretly a Lions fan once again. Just wait, okay? When we get to the playoffs and the Lions are a juggernaut and they're going to the NFC Championship game, watch that Honolulu Blue come out. Just watch.
He's a Patriots guy.
Yeah, okay, we'll see. All right, we'll see.
Adam, I got to read you this. All right,
Please
this is
do.
his explanation.
Word for word.
I'm going to take, no, I can't because we're on the
do
radio.
it. No, do it.
Can't
You
do
can
that
replace.
legally,
You can use the
actually.
letters.
I'll get fired. These aren't standings, Abdallah! 6 exclamation points. They're power rankings. Guess who ranks first in your gospel DVOA stat? Detroit. They are better than Kansas City in both offensive and defensive EPA, and the only team that is top 5 in both. They are the best team in football, and it might not even be close. Take it, Adam. He didn't put the take it, Adam. I did.
How many losses do they have?
A couple.
They've got one loss,
One.
right?
One.
Okay, how many losses do the Super Bowl champion Kansas City? Look, if this was
0.
if this was like another team that wasn't the Chiefs, you have to understand. I'm saying that they're still the number 1 team because it's the Chiefs. Because it says that they are the Super Bowl champions, because they have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, because their defense is playing amazing. That's why. If it was another team, I'd be like, all right, their quarterback's not as great. I get it. Their coach is not as good. Okay, it's the Chiefs.
Agreed. I'm with you.
And Shea's not here to defend himself. So you're wrong, Shea. What do you got to say about that, Shea? Nothing, Shea.
You had every opportunity, Shea, but you had to sleep in.
Because guess what? You're having a boozy brunch before you come in, maybe. Because you wrote these power rankings clearly a little boozed up.
No doubt about it. All right, we got to take a quick timeout. 312-332-3776. If you're in the New York area
Did we hear from Jesse yet?
and you hear the name Jesse Rogers, wake his ass up.